Welcome to Old New Borrowed Blue, the Blue Room podcast about all those nice things we actually like about Everton. I am made up to be joined this week by Louise Rivett from Loose Article. We spoke a few months ago now. I think it was February, wasn't it?
Was it February?
I
Gosh.
think you were just about to play the White Hotel in Salford.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think quite a bit's happened since then. Do you want to just give us a rundown of what you've been up to? Because it's been pretty busy.
It's been really. I think it was before Christmas, actually. Was it? I can't remember because since then we've recorded an album. I don't know if I'd record. Just cracked out an album over a weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just bash that one out.
yeah.
Easy.
We've been so busy. Yeah, we recorded our first album in January, in Salford, and that was amazing. And then that's coming out on. I've got all it written down. June the 7th. So that'll be been just before the Foo Fighters big show.
Oh,
So it's kind
brilliant.
of like we're doing like a bit of a tour before then. It's like a big build up for the big, the big one, and then hopefully got a big tour in October. We've got so many shows coming up at festivals and bits and bobs around Europe as well this summer. So it's a big one.
Yeah, so I'm just looking here. So in April you've got New Cross in. Guessing that's in New Cross in London, is it? Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. And that one.
and
Uh,
on the Wall in Manchester on the 28th, and then in June you're playing Hebden Bridge and Milton Keynes. I guess that's just about around when the album comes out.
Yeah, so we're doing like a little tour with Chroma as like a bit of a build up and stuff. Um, and then yeah, the album comes out on the 7th. So it's all really exciting, really. I think we basically just bashed out the album. We're so happy with it.
Yeah.
And it sounds, there's so much going on. It's really exciting.
What was it? What was it like recording it then? Did you just record it live, or did you all do your little bits, or a bit of both?
No, so we all well, obviously drums were kind of live, and then we all kind of added our little bits in and around, and then I obviously had my football whistle that I had to contribute, a big dunk football whistle. Um, yeah, it was just really good fun. Like I'm actually doing as well a CD, like a special Everton CD for the release. So we're doing like loads of little like CD kind of designs, and I'm doing like a little Everton one.
Oh,
So yeah,
people
bring
posted on that then.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
designing it this afternoon, so
Oh, good stuff. Yeah,
I'll put
we'll get everyone onto that. So see if that's the best selling one out of a lot of them. I think it will
yeah.
be.
Well, I hope so. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll push
good
that. We'll make
fun.
sure it is. Yeah, defo. But just before we get into everything as well, we're both wearing the same top. Anyone watching on YouTube will notice it's the 92 to 94 salmon pink away. Interesting fact about this kit, if you're a nerd like me, is Nil Satis Nisi Optimum spelt wrong on yours? So the first ones that came out, it's spelled Optinum.
MUM. Is it? I'm shit at
Oh,
spelling.
it's Optimum. Okay. So the first ones that came out, Umbro spelt it wrong. As you can imagine, Evertonians took that really well. There was a big kickoff. Thankfully, there was no social media at the time, but there was a big kickoff. So they re-released them with a proper spelling. But there you go.
I love a stat like that.
One for the kit nerds there.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into your choices then. So for anyone who doesn't know how this show works, we basically ask for people's favourite former player, that's old, favourite current player, new, favourite loan player, borrowed, and just generally the favourite thing about Everton or the favourite Evertonian, and that's blue. So, Louise, let's kick off with your favourite former player. Interestingly, I think this is the first time he's been picked, which I'm surprised by, but go ahead, over to you.
But Matt, so this is the new player. New player,
The
sorry.
old one, sorry.
Oh, it's the first time he's been picked.
Yeah,
Timmy Cahill.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, hell. I mean, it's just straight up. Some of the other questions, I was like, oh, I'm a bit undecided, but within a split second, I know it's Timmy Cahill. I can't believe that.
I know. I'm pretty sure someone might correct me on this. I should probably keep a note of stuff like this, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time he's been picked because he could possibly be mine because he kind of epitomised that whole David Moyes era that he was there, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Which, like, when that was when I had the season ticket, that whole era, and I think that team was I still miss them all so much. Like when I was struggling to pick up a favorite player for this team, but I could all of them would like overwrite all the players in this team.
Oh
But
yeah,
I think Timmy Cahill is just, I think it was like his attitude and his personality was my favourite as well. And he was just everywhere, wasn't he? And he had so much energy. And he's like one of them players that everyone hated, but everyone wanted in their squad. And
yeah,
we were so lucky to have him.
yeah.
Buzzing.
That's what I think that's something that we've been lacking for a while now. A player that every other fan hates. Probably
Yeah.
Richarlison was the last one that we had.
Yeah.
And it's just like it just intensifies your love for that player, doesn't it? When you know everyone else hates them, it's
Yeah.
like, no, well, I really like them now.
But secretly, everyone really wants them as well. That's
Oh
like
God, yeah.
jealousy. But yeah, he was that all over, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he
And it was
did.
just no,
Oh,
go
go
on,
on.
sorry.
He came up from the championship, didn't he? And then straight away just smashed it.
Yeah. So we nearly didn't sign him. And he was this close to signing for Crystal Palace.
Uh,
Um, but I think Palace, I don't know if Simon Jordan was the chairman at that time, they wouldn't pay the agent what the agent wanted to be paid. So Everton swooped in and signed him. And obviously, the rest is history. Like, but I just think if he'd have signed for Palace, I reckon he'd have stayed there a couple of seasons and gone on to maybe Man United or
yeah,
someone. But I think signing for Everton at that time, it was kind of the right club at the right time for him. So he just basically stayed for the best part of his career then, didn't he?
yeah, yeah. And then he's still a big blue now, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he like didn't his son end up playing? I don't know if he's still playing for Everton or something. The account
I
or
don't know if he,
something.
yeah, I think he might be somewhere else now. I'll, I'll check that out now. What's your favorite, like, Tim Cahill memory?
Oh my God, there's so many. Apart from him just constantly, just always doing the incredible headers and punching the corner flags. I'm trying to think now. I should have had a coffee before.
I think
Um,
I think one of mine is when he got sent off at Man City for scoring a goal and he pulled his shirt over his head and then got sent off straight away, which is a bit nuts.
um, yeah, I just all of the like he just scored so many special goals. Always with his head as well, and he was only tiny. He was like 5'9"
He's about
or
5'10" or something, yeah,
something.
5'9", 5'10".
I used to have all the player stats and I knew everything about him. I had Tim Cahill, Tim Cahill clock, Tim Cahill, like I used to do collages. I was obsessed with him. Just loved him. Like I think I must have been about 13, 14 or something. So I was quite young, but yeah, he was just like my mecca for Everton.
Yeah.
And like he's still linked with the club now as well in a
He's
little
done
way.
some work with them, yeah. I don't know what he does actually. He's like
He's
he's
like
not
an
an agent now. I don't know. He's still in football and he did do some work with
ambassador.
Everton.
Yeah.
Can't remember what though. His lad now plays for Brisbane Raw, apparently.
I was just going back to the sunny.
But yeah,
So
I'm sure he was at Everton at some point. Yeah, he definitely was. Yeah, Shay Cahill. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Um,
but yeah, favorite. I'm struggling to pick out a memory because they're all just like combining into one. I'm just gonna just like his overall attitude, and I wish he was in the squad today, just
yeah,
to have that kind of rough and tumble and smashing the headers in and
yeah.
the overall mint
He'd
vibe
always,
around the team.
yeah, he'd just turn up at the right time, wouldn't he? And like you say,
Yeah.
like he wasn't the biggest player, but the amount of headers he scored. I think one of his best goals. Do you remember the overhead kick at Chelsea
Oh
to
yeah,
equalise in like the last minute? It was just
yeah,
like he could score any type of goal so long as it was like sort of around the penalty spot or in the area. I don't think
yeah.
he scored many from
Ah,
outside the box, if any.
no, no, we left that to our
Yeah,
left.
Arteta would usually sort
Arteta,
that
yeah.
out.
And him and Arteta as well, they're like busy mates, weren't they? That was like quite a good, nice little partnership in the middle.
Yeah, I think they were best man at each other's wedding
Oh yeah, I
or
love a love
something like
story. I
that.
love all like the backroom story, making sure they're all happy and loving the
Yeah,
Everton bit.
it is nice to know that your players get on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's so important, and I think maybe this team at the moment is from what I'm reading between the lines, feels like there's a bit more of a togetherness and they're a bit more happy together. Maybe I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it does seem to be like that. I think one thing about this current team is there's a lot of things you can slag them off for because they're not very good, basically. But they do seem to be like kind of together. There doesn't seem to be many groups that have split off,
Yeah,
anything like that. I think I could be wrong, and I might be making this up, but I think when Danjuma came in, I think he was a little bit disruptive and tried to like form a little breakaway group.
right.
Possibly why he's not been in the team so much. I think Dyche kind of nipped that in the bud pretty early. So I've heard. But yeah, as you see, like the squad does seem quite together. Just wish they were a little bit better.
Yeah, no, well, we would have been if we didn't have these bloody points to do.
I know
We
we
would
would
have
be
been,
comfortably mid-table, which is all we want. That'll do for now.
yeah, we don't have to go through this crap again for the next how many months. God, don't even get me started on the points deduction. I
Oh,
feel
I
like
know.
it's all I think about, but I don't want to think about it. It's
It's
horrible.
crap, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, it's ruined
yeah,
football.
you just want to concentrate on the football. It's like the Burnley game at the weekend. Every sort of conversation around that, it was a dreadful game, but every sort of conversation around that, you somehow end up on, well, the points deduction. And even now, it's like, well, we basically drew that game in effect because they took the 2 points off us. And it's just like, oh, can't wait to stop talking about it.
No, and what is the point? Like it's all about the fans, isn't it? And going to the match and enjoying and what no you don't even know if it's gonna be worth them 3 points because they'll take it off you
Yeah,
when yeah,
exactly. And
they've taken all the love out of it, the buggers.
yeah, I said this on another podcast. It's kind of like for the players, if you've like, so they finally won a game after getting off for 4 months. Funnily
Yeah.
enough, it was against Burnley away. And then it's kind of like that win's been taken off them. And I
Yeah.
kind of liken it to like, when you're doing some work and you forget to save it. So you've written like a big piece and you forget to save it and it disappears. It must feel like that. And
Mm.
the feeling of just your work just counting for nothing like that just does your head in and you can't be asked anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it must mess with their heads more than anything. That's why I feel probably a little like feel a bit for them really as well. Like they
Yeah,
are cracking on. Hopefully, it's up to them now, isn't it? No more point deductions this season. It's actually in their hands now.
it is.
Can't carry that in their head anymore. Hopefully.
Yeah. And they've got a few like decent games coming up to pick up points. So tell you what, on that, let's move on to your favorite current player. Nice little segue into that. So who have you gone with? Because you said maybe two. Both if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, I struggled with this, like I say, because like Decore I would have said obviously he went out, he's been injured for a bit, isn't he? He's come back in and stuff. But I think he's got it almost reminds me of maybe the Timmy Cahill attitude and he's just like he's always everywhere. He's got bundles of energy, and I feel like he really gets the club, and he's got like that amazing work ethic that,
Yeah.
and
He's a funny player though, isn't he? Because it's like if you look like the back end of last season, he was like vital in keeping us up. That Brighton game especially, he was unreal. But he's one of those players who his first touch can be like amazing or dreadful. He can like trap the ball dead, and then his next touch is like a 2 yard pass and he misses it.
yeah,
He's such a weird player, and does feel like he's one of those who's got to play instinctively. Don't think about what you're doing. Just
mm,
do whatever like comes naturally.
yeah, and that was the best. I was going to say that at Tim Cahill, you can feel like it never gets in his head. It was he never really overthought anything. He was just like boom, boom, do, do, and
Yeah,
maybe we just need more players like that. But it was either Takore or Tarkowski. Tarkowski, yeah. Just because he's just grown on me loads. I think he's just embodies Everton as well. He's got probably one of the closest kind of. I don't know. He just seems quite loyal and passionate, and he has saved us quite a lot with his. I saw this amazing thing on Everton social media of this young lad saying it's the Tarkowski steamroller kind of challenge, like them amazing tackles and he comes in and does that, and he's just a bit old school. So, and
yeah,
I think he's definitely leading the group really well. Like
yeah,
we need him there. When Conor Cody seemed to have a good vibe about him, and I was a bit worried when he left, but. No, I think Tarkowski's
yeah. I
filled
think
the boots quite nicely.
he picked it up, didn't he? And I think the thing I like best about him is the fact that when it all kicks off, he's the first person there. So
Super
someone
chat.
could like kick off on Dwight McNeil on the left wing, and Tarkovsky's in the right back position, and he will be there within seconds,
Yeah,
just like fighting McNeil's corner. And like you need loads of them players in your team. So to have one who's that committed to the kickoffs,
yeah.
it's always a good thing.
And especially when Seamus Coleman's not in it, you need someone even like a tiny bit close to that, don't you, to just kind of look after everyone.
Yeah, actually, that's a point. It's no one does that like Seamus Coleman.
No, I don't.
Absolutely loves the aggro, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. And he's just, I think I got Seamus Coleman. I would have chose him, but maybe not for this season, obviously. But I don't know what we're going to do without him. Who's going to like fill those Everton boots, like long
Yeah.
term? And
We've been it's been a problem for years. I'm gonna say since about 2017, 18, we've been thinking, right, we need to find someone who's gonna eventually replace Seamus Coleman, and we haven't. We never have done.
it's a worry. I don't think we've got any money to do so either. Well, he was only like, what, 50, 60 grand. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah, one of the best pound for pound signings ever. Um, yeah. Who are you gonna go with then? I'll make you choose
I'm
here.
going
You
to
going
go
to
with
Corey or Tarkovsky?
Tarkowski now, just thinking about it and who would I rather play every match at the end of the season? It'd be, and I was going to say Bramthwaite because that's obvious, but I'm just worried he's going to go, and I don't want to give him that. Just yeah, I'm going to go
Yeah.
Tarkowski.
He's gonna break all our hearts, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he has to.
We've done it again.
Yeah, but as long as we get good money for him, some of the stuff I've been reading worries me. Like 50 million, that's offensive.
Well, I mean, yeah, this all comes down to that Premier League thing again. If they sort of say you've got to sell him, but like this is what happened with Richarlison, wasn't it? They said you've got to sell him by June 30th. So we sold him, I'm gonna say for 20 million less than we probably should have done. Because he's the Brazil number 9, he had a brilliant World Cup in December. He was worth more than what we got for him. Funnily enough, I think the Premier League actually, I think I read the other day in all this, the Premier League told Everton to sell Branthwaite when he was at PSV, and they would have got about 15 million for him. So, but Everton, like said, absolutely no chance. Thankfully, one thing we've done right, and we'll obviously get more than that. But yeah, I do worry that we will get we'll undersell him. To be honest,
Yeah, which is a shame. God,
yeah.
imagine if we got rid of him, we didn't have him this season.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, we'd be knackered. I think we'd be down by now because we'd
yeah,
have Michael Keane. And you know what? I
oh,
love Michael Keane.
I know.
He's just so hapless. But yeah, I think we'd be in big trouble.
He's another player that you just think if he didn't get in his head, so and it must be hard not to, but I feel like he just overthinks
Oh
everything maybe, and
yeah,
Braithwaite just
no,
doesn't give a shit, does he? He's like,
everything's instinctive with him. He's just like, and for his age and everything, he's unreal. Right, let's move on to some happier times again now. We're getting dragged into the current team malaise. Yeah. So we'll move on to your favorite borrowed player, so your favorite loan player, who
uh,
is
Landon Donovan.
good shout.
Someone said that before. I feel like it's an obvious.
Yeah, I think Jack said Landon Donovan. I think he's the only player. The player who's got the most votes in the borrowed one is Manny Fernandez. I think 3 people have said Manny Fernandez.
Do you
It
know
was
what?
a good shout, but yeah, I've been surprised how many people have said him. But yeah, he's so when Landon Donovan first signed, so you're saying Tim Cahill was your first player because you're about 13,
I think
14. Was
I
Landon
think
Donovan, you probably would have been around that when Landon Donovan signed. I think he was 2002, 10, I think. Something like that, was it? His first time. 2012, 13. Yeah, 2009, 10. I think he signed.
oh yes, I would have had a season ticket for way before that as well.
Because I'm just thinking, because when Gav Buckland was on, he said there's this I think it's the same with music as well as the kind of the plays you like when you're about, I think he said between like 13 and 16 or 17, the players you like in that period, they're always going to be your favorite players. And I think it's the same with music, but I think it's a little bit older. I think it's like 17 to 25. Whatever you listen to then, you still listen to for the rest of your life.
right,
So I'm
yeah,
just interested to know if that, like, so Tim Cahill sounds like it fits that. I
yeah,
imagine Landon Donovan probably does as well.
yeah. Well, yeah, it was part of that kind. He came back a few times, didn't he, in the winter?
Yeah, so he came back. So I think he was definitely better first time round. I think that was the more successful loan spell. Let me just get the stats up. How many did he score? I think he scored 2 in that. He played 10 games and scored 2. Second time round, he played 7 and didn't score any. But I
God,
think that 2009-10 squad was much better than the 11-12 squad. And I think all that squad needed in 2009-10 was a bit of pace, and that's what he brought.
yeah,
So we had like Cahill, Osman, Pienaar, Arteta, all technically brilliant players, but like couldn't run between them. And then
Yeah.
Donovan came in and added that little bit of pace. So I think that's what he really added to that side at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Could just run at players and yeah, he's super fast. It's great credit to him that he just came out like the American League, completely different level. And
Yeah.
well, I wonder how it even came about. Why would you?
Well, it was so at the time, I think it coincided with the American, let's call it the off season because that's what they call it. So the European winter season coincides with their sort of pre-season, basically. So I think players like him would come over. I think it was just him, to be honest, because he was the only decent one from there. Came over and played in Europe because he also played for Bayern Munich as well. He came on loan to Bayern. He actually started off at Bayer Leverkusen
Oh wow, I didn't
in
know that.
Germany. Yeah, that's where he started his career. Then went to San Jose Earthquakes on loan. Then from 2005 went to LA Galaxy, which is when he did those loan spells in Europe.
Yeah.
Um, I think his two at Everton were probably the most successful. We played six at Bayern Munich, didn't score any. But yeah, certainly that first one. I just feel like wish we'd have signed him.
Yeah, well, I wonder why we didn't. But
Yeah, it's a
asset.
strange thing with
Oh,
like US based players, especially like the ones who play for the national team. I don't know if it's a bit like cricket. Could be making this up, but you know where like cricketers are sort of they play for England and the county, but like England's more they're more known for playing for the country kind of thing.
yeah.
I think in America, if you sort of contracted to you, I probably am making this up, but it sounds plausible, so go with me. If you play for the national team, there's some sort of thing where it's better for you to play in the States.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Someone will definitely pull me up on that because I am definitely making that up. But that's the only reason I can think why he didn't come over to Europe because
Why
I
wouldn't
can't
he?
imagine. I can imagine the money's probably better in Europe. Even at the time, I imagine Everton may well have paid more than LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a shame that we never signed him.
Yeah, what a waste. And what like it's weird that he wouldn't want to because he obviously could handle it, couldn't he? And
Yeah.
he only had a couple of months on and off. So imagine if he had like 3 straight seasons or something, what maybe it would have been. But I think he's very loved over there, wasn't he? At LA Galaxy. He's quite a big figure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can say.
Yeah.
I think
And
still
also, I think if you think about it objectively, would you move from LA to Walton?
probs
From
not.
LA to L4? Not sure about that. Like,
Yeah, it must be a bit chilly. I wonder if that's why Klopp's going, he always looks like he's got a really good tan, and I'm like, he definitely goes on the sunbeds. I
oh,
think maybe he
hammers the
just
beds.
makes it hot.
Yeah, 100%. Right, we'll move on then finally to the blue category, which is your favourite Evertonian or your favourite thing about Everton. What have you gone for there?
I said Seamus Coleman just because I wanted to say it in the new one. I think he is, and it kind of goes in hand with my favourite thing about being an Everton fan is just the loyalty and the passion of all the fans, and just feel like everyone's together. And I think he is like he embodies all of that, doesn't he? And I'm
Yeah,
absolutely when he goes, it will be such a sad day. I mean, do you think it might even be the end of this season? Who knows? He's like
potentially. I think
about
he's
60
picked up
now,
a couple of
isn't
injuries, although he's still playing regularly for Ireland. I think he's still getting 90 minutes for Ireland. So I think while a player's still playing for the country, they've got no intention of retiring. I think the worst thing would be if he went somewhere else. If he
Oh,
went to another club, that would be horrible.
I don't think that'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be too weird.
Yeah, very odd. Hopefully he'll stay on and become one of the backroom staff with with some of the others maybe, and just kind of you always hear like amazing things from players, old players, like stories of him even just sending the odd message or ringing them up, and he's so important for all them
Yeah.
behind the scene things that yeah, like I say, hopefully someone can pick that up when he
It's like every manager, and he's played under a lot of managers, unfortunately, but every manager has always spoke really highly of him and sort of said, he embodies everything about this club. And he's just a really, really nice fella.
yeah. No,
So
man. Ancelotti loved it. They still talk, don't they? Even
yeah,
Ancelotti.
I,
Can't
st- I
imagine
still
James
I
Coleman.
still don't believe that happened. I'm still not sure that actually happened. I think that was just some sort of COVID fever dream that Ancelotti was the Everton manager and James Rodriguez played for us. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was hard. But yeah, those were days.
Yeah, so just on the Everton fans then. we've had it rough, it's fair to say, for quite a long time now. And, there have been divisive figures, there have been division among the fans, but I think, gonna say since Frank Lampard, now he was a dreadful manager, but for me, he kind of did the impossible and he kind of pulled the fan base together during that first relegation scrap. And I think we've mainly been on the same page ever since. I don't think it's been too fractured. Everyone's kind of got behind the club. And, it's a lot to ask every season to come and give massive support to a team that's doing so badly. And especially this season where, as we said before, you've got the points deductions and stuff like that. But for everyone to turn up home and away and sell it out is, it is amazing. It
Yeah,
is.
it's like a proper credit to I think like when you were saying they're home and away as well, like, going to, I mean, I don't, so I'm like truly in awe of people that do. You to South England on a Thursday night and there's no public transport back because
Yeah.
there never seems to be any trains or anything, coming back at 4 in the morning and, and then I think you say we won and then the next week they take the points off us or something. It's like, well, how can they do that? All these fans that all the hard-earned money
Yeah.
is, and I just think that's what's so amazing yet about the fans that they keep getting knocked back, but they keep coming back 10 times harder, and it's quite funny, really, isn't it? It's like a bit
Yeah.
fingers up to the Premier League.
Yeah. It is definitely. And it does feel like we've sort of they've picked on Everton for whatever reason. I always think it's because we're big enough to cause some waves, but not like so big that we'll cause them any trouble. But I think we've caused the Premier League a fair bit of hassle now.
Yeah, I just want it to be a bit more in the media. I think it's not. I feel like I'm always looking for it. Like I want to see not just Everton fans and Everton podcasts, what people are saying about us, because I want to make sure everyone knows and I don't know if there's enough, which
No,
worries.
do you know? I think that's the sad thing about football fans. It's so tribal that there will never be any sort of collective action from football fans. So a few years ago, there was I think it was the 20s Plenty campaign where everyone sort of got together to say, right, away ticket prices are too much. And I think they settled on 30 quid maximum you can charge away fans, which is fair enough. But aside from that, and I think this is shown as well that there's never going to be any collective action because teams of other clubs are just too quick to just laugh at you. And just basically, I mean, that the amount of prefects who support other clubs who were like, well, rules are rules and you shouldn't have broke the rules, so you should get punished. It's like,
Hate it when
go
they
on.
say, yeah, look into it a bit more. If it happened to your club, yeah, might be
Exactly.
different when it's started. Well, I don't. It's not going to happen to anyone else, is it? Because they're going to bloody change the
Oh,
rules.
yeah, changing the rules in August. Lovely stuff.
Which
Yeah.
I would love to know if they change the rules, does that mean they drop the cases against the other clubs? I would love to know that.
Oh, yeah. They're clearly making it up as they go along. Clearly.
It's
Yeah.
more and more hilarious, doesn't it?
Oh, it is daft. I mean, and even down to the word we've spoken about the points a lot in this podcast, haven't we? But
I know,
it's
sorry.
fine. But even down to the last statement that came out, I think the commission had basically said that the Premier League have sort of handled it quite badly. So the independent commission have come out and said, yeah, the Premier League have handled this pretty badly. So no one's on the same page with any of it. So
What a lol. Well, as long as we
goodness.
stay up, hopefully, like that last season at Goodison just has to be in the Premier League, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It has to be.
yeah, it's got
Stay
to
up
be. And
and
then we
then, yeah,
go to the new stadium in the Premier League. And then loose articles do the opening show at the new ground.
that would
This
be
is this is what happens.
that would be great. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? I have to
This
write still haven't written an Everton song yet, but after getting the making for that. I think, yeah, Brad, I went to have a look at it with my dad and uncle. I went to the Luton game and I can't, it's just incredible, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
couldn't have been more perfect. Like all the towers, kind of the brick towers around the walls and stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
and that's just like original architecture as well.
yeah,
So it's not even anything the club have done. Yeah, the site is perfect. I mean, I know it's like there's been a lot of stuff in the news lately about missing out on the King's Dock and stuff, which would have been brilliant at the time. But I think this site we've got is much better, and this stadium will be much better than anything we would have built on the King's Dock.
yeah.
So it's hard to get excited about it.
Yeah, because I always
But
get
then
the
when you see it, it's
effort.
like, oh God,
Yeah, it's well, I went to the pub next to it. I loved the pub. Is it the
I've still not
Bramble?
been in there.
It's brilliant. Really cheap pints. And it was like I thought when we went past originally, I was like, that's just an old pub that's never not been used anymore. Went past and it was open and it's all like shaped like a boat and stuff inside,
Oh, is
like
it?
the seating areas have got like beautiful wood carts. It's like going back into a TARDIS to the 70s or something.
Oh, proper old man's boozer.
Yeah, that's going to be our local, which is amazing as well. It's
Oh, I'm
all
into
there
that.
ready for us.
Yeah, might have to go there before the next game on the way up.
You might actually know that music related um, that area of Liverpool that's kind of up and coming for like venues or something. Did someone
Yes, you've got the Invisible Wind Factory, which is
where people were going?
really
Right.
good venue. Who did they see in there last? Saw Monks play there recently. Saw the Coral in there a while ago. It's a good venue, really
Right.
good venue. But and then I think you've got Murphy's Gym Bar just next door to it. But yeah, I think that will be a new part of town. A bit like we've been around the Baltic.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might be the new Baltic
Yeah,
Triangle.
I think it's going to be a bit like that, which would be ace, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Having like loads of good bars and venues on the walk up to the ground.
that's where it's like that's the dream, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
make a proper day out of it and then yeah, watch Lee Sarkis in at Bramley Moor. Oh, that would be amazing. So excited.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Trust me. Right then, just before we go, do you want to just give us a run through of what you're coming up? Because I know Karen, the manager, will not forgive us
Yeah, and
if you don't give us a full rundown.
all good stuff as well. Like there's basically, yeah, so we've got the album coming out on June the 7th, which will have an Everton specialised CD designed by moi. And then we've got Mr. Manager, which is our first single from the album coming out on April the 17th. Shooting the music video for that on Sunday, which will be funny. I've heard there's a Porsche involved. Um, yeah, and then we're playing Let's End Poverty at Band on the Wall on April the 6th. Yeah, and then we've got a show in Birkenhead at Future Yard on September the 26th. So
Yeah,
if that could tie into a match, that would be great. I'll have to check my calendar.
I'll be there for that one. Don't worry, definitely.
I'm excited. I've never been there. I really want to go.
Oh, it's a great little venue.
And they're
Brilliant.
doing like an outdoor area now or something. I think they're building like an
Yeah,
out.
they've got an outdoor bit. Yeah, but the actual venue inside's really good.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the last thing I saw there was like a classical music thing, which was quite strange. Yeah. It was just a woman on a cello and a fella playing the piano. Really good, like, but quite strange in that kind of venue. Everyone stood up watching it. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a good and very versatile venue, it is.
No, I'm excited to play. Really excited to play that. And then I think it's not actually on here, but it's quite interesting. We've done this amazing. Have you heard of Manchester Corinthians, the female football team?
Oh no.
So it's like a really famous football team, female football team from the 50s, 60s, that basically football was banned for women and they kind of defied all odds. It's an incredible story. Went around the world, played in front of like 50,000 people, just like won loads of trophies. And they were from like Manchester. And they're making a film about them. I'll have to send you the link for the trailer so people can watch it.
Oh yeah, defo.
Chose us to do like a bit of soundtrack to it. So Kick Like a Girl song's been used and Lethal Weapon, one of her other songs. So that's like for me as well, I'm a big football fan and
Oh, that's class.
playing football. I didn't really know their story, but it's breathtaking and
Yeah.
hopefully I think basically there's like a bit of a fund thing to go through to make it into a full length film, but you can watch the trailer. I'll send you the link in it.
Oh yeah, send the link. I'll
Women are
stick that in the
incredible,
description.
really
Yeah.
exciting. And then yeah, Kick Like a Girl, mentioning Duncan Ferguson is on the trailer, so that's
Yeah.
quite.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So for anyone who's not seen the video for that, yeah, it mentions Big Dunk, and you actually hit the sweetest free kick, don't you,
Yeah, those
in
are
the video?
yeah.
Honestly, it's basically prime Kevin Sheedy. It's unreal. Um, right, we'll leave it there then. Thanks, Louise. Thanks for your time there. Thanks for all your choices. Great
Yeah.
choices. I'd say if anyone wants to get involved, leave a comment on YouTube or get in touch by send us a direct message at the Blue Room AFC. That's been Louise from Loose Articles on Old New Borough Blue in the Salmon Pinks. We'll catch you next time.